You'll say that I'm a capitalist because, I have stock, I've got a financial advisor, I trade on the open markets and all this other stuff. So, I too have benefited from capitalism and its fruits, and you wouldn't be wrong. But, when I look at what happened in Chile, my general sentiments are, holy shit, this went way too far. The other sentiment that goes through my head is, why does capitalism need to kill anybody that doesn't agree with it? Like if our system is so supreme, why can't we win people over by the power of our example rather than, by way of murder? Why does capitalism have to violently enforce itself on the the world and everything if it's so supposedly supreme? Why does Reagan have to go out and make Chile's economy scream because Chile's people didn't agree with the economic prescription that they wanted to force feed down the world's throats? And what gave him the right to dick around in somebody else's, sovereign country with that kind of, shit? But my general sentiment is, regarding the atrocities down there in Chile, really could be summarized as this: I don't have a problem with people having anti-communist ideologies or being anti-socialist in their thoughts or whatever. Like, whatever, it's not for you, good for you. That doesn't really bother me. What bothers me is this idea that capitalism needs the violence that it needs to push itself on the world. I really genuinely wouldn't have supported Reagan's actions because I would view them as excessive, and I would think, that the world has a right to sovereignty and to make its own decisions about those matters. You may not like socialism, that's fine, but you don't have to kill socialists. That doesn't give you, the right to, to murder people because they support a different, economic, system than the one that you live in and grow up under and everything. Like, it's not that people are against Allende that bothers me so much as it is the fact that, they thought that it was appropriate to use military force against him. That bothers me. That's what I'm condemning. I'm not even endorsing Allende's school of political thought or that he was a socialist or any of that stuff. His policies or the idea of expropriating wealth or any of that shit. What I'm specifically like condemning, to be against murdering socialists is not to be for socialism. They're not the same thing.